And so I was like, okay, yeah. And by the time I got past the third round of interviews, yeah, they said, okay, we'll get back to you. They randomly called me one day, like maybe in a week, and they gave me my offer letter to
Mm.
make 75K a year.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Learn to Live podcast, where we find dope people that do dope things. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also like the page, well, like the YouTube channel, because this allows the algorithm to push the videos out to people that may need to see this. But today we got a very special guest. She's actually someone that I watch to break into tech sales, and she's very dope. She's doing her thing. I see her posting on social media all the time. And she broke into tech with no experience. I'm not going to tell you how much she, got, but she got the bag. So I'm going to let her kind of, explain herself and kind of talk about her journey. So let me bring her on. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay. How
I
are
hear
you
you.
doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited to do this and be here. I appreciate it.
No, I understand. So I came across you on Cyrus' page, and I seen you and I was like, Lord, let me hit her up. Hopefully she responds, because I wanted to get you on the podcast because I thought your story was pretty dope. So I kind of want to go back to the beginning before you got to this point, because I try not
Okay.
to show people like, okay, it's just all glamorous. You actually put some work in to get to the point where you at. So take us back to the beginning.
To the beginning of when I first started
Yeah, before you
working.
like actually broke into tech, what were you doing?
So I have a background, an academic background in marriage and family therapy, just clinical psychology, and it was miserable. Like no offense,
Mhm.
like, just everything's not for everybody.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
I
what I mean?
understand.
So even though I got to that point of getting a master's degree,
Mhm.
I was not happy with the career field that I chose. And you hear that from a lot of people. They're not happy about, they don't like their job and so anyways, my family ended up starting a business, a food
Mhm.
truck business called Creole City. And I started doing that. Like I was helping my dad get that off the ground. And basically, when COVID hit, we took a really hard hit. A lot of small businesses did,
Yeah.
and I needed to figure out what my next move was. It's like either because I have transitioned from clinical psychology to being a part of a family business, but it was
Mhm.
like, I need to know what to do now because our business was kind of on a pause and
Mhm.
I rent, I got bills. And so I had a big decision to make. Do I go back into therapy or do I do something different? And I
Mhm.
didn't know what that looked like. And so in that between time, I was really struggling financially. I was working like little petty jobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Small change, like knowing that I could be making so much more. And I was just really going into a depression. I was struggling. And this was all last year, like early, I'll say, I don't know, just earlier in the year of
Yeah.
2022. And I was just needing to figure out what to do. And so Cyrus, who you brought up
Mhm.
earlier,
Mhm.
he's actually a friend of mine from back in the day,
Mhm.
ministry. Like he's a spoken word artist and I'm a spoken word artist. And so
Okay.
we would be in similar spaces. And he was out. I got to give it to him. He's much better than me. But he's dope. Like, but yeah, so we'd be in similar spaces and we just knew each other through spoken word, poetry,
Mhm.
and just ministry. And so, I'd follow him, he follows me. And as time passed, I started seeing him post about tech.
Mhm.
And I had never heard of tech. I didn't know what tech was. I didn't know anything. All I knew was I know Cyrus. And I was like, that's good for him. Like he's
Yeah.
doing something good now,
Mhm.
Well, what happened is that I had a friend who was looking for a job and struggling financially. And so when I saw what Cyrus was doing and posting on Instagram, I
Mhm.
was like, oh, let me tell my friend, who was a guy,
Yeah.
about what he's doing
Mhm.
so that he can actually, like, it seems like a manly thing, like some tech
Yeah.
stuff. Like, and so anyways, that's how I even heard of the tech industry, and then I reached out to Cyrus and was like, "What's this about? Like, what do you got? What is this whole tech thing?" So he sent me, just some answers, told me to watch his videos, stuff like that, and I was able to, and I was getting this information so I could transfer it over to my friend
Mhm.
and communicate it to them. And so basically, in the midst of trying to get this information, I was like, hold up.
Hmm.
I'm sitting here trying to get this information for a friend, and I'm like, I can do
Do
this.
this, yeah.
I'm like, in the world, like this makes sense. Like, I did the free introductory course, like with
Mhm.
CourseCareers, just for information's sake. And I was like, 60K starting salary,
Yeah.
like average starting salary. I'm like,
Can't
what?
beat that.
In a few weeks?
Yeah.
Like, it was just mind blowing. And because Cyrus was someone I knew and was credible,
Mhm.
I was willing to actually take that serious. So that's how I even got started. And within that same day, I signed up for Course Careers.
So I know you say you were in school. Was there kind of like peer pressure for you to go to school, or is that something like you actually wanted to do?
I would say more peer pressure. Like I was really heavy in ministry, and so I wanted to go to like a Bible college. Like I
Mhm.
wanted to like, but my parents were more so like, yeah, no. Like
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
go to, a university and like not just focused on that. Like get a degree that's gonna matter more later. Like,
Mhm.
so in undergrad I majored in um, psychology,
Mhm.
and then in grad school it was clinical psychology. But that was all I would say more pushed by my parents. Coming from a good place though, they just wanted the best for me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah. So
mean?
with you, so you met Cyrus, and you say he introduced you to tech. Now I know you mentioned course careers. It's kind of like two different sides to tech. You have the technical side, and then you have kind of like course careers. What side did you pick to do?
I did tech sales. I
Okay.
signed up for tech sales course. Yeah.
Okay. So what is tech sales for the people that don't know?
Okay, so tech sales, it's technology sales. So the same kind of sales that we're familiar with when we go to like just any store to buy a cell phone or to buy anything, that is called B2C sales. So
Mm.
that's business to consumer. So a business selling to a individual person, a consumer. Well, in tech sales, you are still doing sales, but you're working for a business and you're selling to other businesses
Mm.
your technology. So it's technology sales. So that's called B2B sales.
Okay.
And so that's what tech sales is. Yeah.
So,
And
because I know some people get scared by the word sales, and they may think that it's hard. Because when I was I don't know if you know, like familiar with MLMs, the Forex era or whatever, it was more of a business to consumer where I would
mhm.
have a product that I sell to you, but it was like, I need you to like stay under this leg to say, okay, this is how I make my money. So is it
Right.
like harder selling to businesses, or is it, you think it's easier to sell from business to consumers?
I think I think it's easier to sell from a business to a consumer, way easier as far as the actual sale,
Mm.
because usually B2C sales, the cost is not high. Like there's almost like an average. Like I forget the numbers, but if you think about it, it's just a one-time purchase. It's a
Mm.
short lifespan. There's a word for it. It's called something life something. I forget.
Mm.
But it's very short and it's very low in cost. So an example of that would be somebody walks into, let's say, Best Buy, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're or AT&T, and they're trying to buy some AirPods
Mm.
or a new cell phone. It's like at the most you're gonna spend maybe $50 that day. You might spend $200 that day. A phone, it might cost you a couple thousand or whatever
Mm.
it is.
Yeah.
The point that that's reasonable. You can get
Yeah.
that paid off maybe within a few months, a year, or it's gonna be you pay what you pay that day. They get your money, you get the product, you're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's easy to do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are more willing to make a sale with something they can afford rather than with B2B sales. You're selling your technology, which is more, I would say, just higher in value and in cost.
Mm.
But you're selling your technology to another business, to another company to use. Now contracts are involved. You know
Okay.
what I mean? They're going to be, it's more like, I think subscription wouldn't be the right word, but it's like they're going to be using your product annually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like this is a big decision for a business to decide, do we want to use this technology? Because it takes a lot to like integrate, certain technology with
Yeah.
what they're doing. Like that's a big decision. So
Hmm.
you gotta really convince them.
Yeah.
You know what I but that's the job though. It's like it's not just dealing with customer after customer after customer after customer after customer. It's like, no, like I know who I'm targeting specifically. I have my
Hmm.
ICP, my target market, and I'm going after them in a strategic way
Hmm.
rather than selling to whoever walks in the door, if that makes sense.
So when you say strategic, is it like they have like a certain format that you follow to sell to the business, or is just kind of like, is it like a cold call type thing, or how is it?
Yeah, so strategic meaning like when you depending on what your technology is that you're selling,
Hmm.
you want to find the ICP, your target market. Like you want to know what are those characteristics of a business to make them like the best what do you call it? Like how would I let me think how I would say this. You want to find people who are going to be like the best customer for what you're trying to sell,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
people might not need your product and you're wasting your time.
Hmm.
So when I say strategic, I'm just like, okay, let's say you're selling water bottles.
Okay.
That's technology. You're not going to just hit up Best Buy and try to see if they want water
What
bottles.
about it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I get you saying.
why? Like what was your reasoning behind that? But you want to move in strategy. So you
Hmm.
want to say, okay, who uses water bottles a lot? Schools, they got vending machines.
Yeah.
Kids are at school all day. Gyms, they need water. People are working out there.
Hmm.
Maybe parks where there's vending machines or tracks you might sell. Like you're thinking and you might be on their website. Like, let me see what they're already doing. Let
Hmm.
me see how if they already have vending machines. Oh, they only have one.
Yeah.
They only have one in the whole gym. That's not enough. Look at how many customers they have.
Yeah.
How many people come work out there? How much money are they making off that one vending machine? You know what? I think that they might. And so you're putting all this research together. You're grabbing all this personalized information
Hmm.
to customize your email or your phone call when you do outreach. So it's just being more strategic than just somebody walking in to buy a cell phone at AT&T and it's like, oh, that's what you need. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
It's
Get you out of
like
there.
so simple,
Yeah. So
So
now that you kind of explained tech sales for the people that don't know, how did you get into it? I know you say you went through Course Careers. What is Course Careers?
okay, so Course Careers is a course. I would call it like a mini college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's an online course and you can basically finish it within 3 weeks to 3 months. It's really at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on, how fast you move or, some people's situations are different. Some people have kids. Some people are working another job where, they might not have time to do it and work on the course for long hours at a time. So, but basically the course is teaching you everything that you need to know about tech sales or IT or digital marketing. So, Course Careers is the business ran
Mm-hmm.
by Troy and his team, and they offer different courses that you can take to prepare you for a career path, like whatever career path you choose. So,
Mm-hmm.
I did tech sales. People are more interested in IT.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are more interested in, like I said, digital marketing. So, whatever course you decide to take, and I think they have an account executive course too. I know they did. I don't
I seen
know
that. I think they
they
do.
do?
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so whatever course you decide to take, it's gonna prepare you to teach you all the material and to land a position.
Okay.
It's gonna just give you that, walk you by the hand and lead you in that direction. So
So inside that course, do they like kind of help you find a job? Do they have like partner programs that they work with? Like what can people expect if they was to sign up with the course?
okay. So if you sign up for Course Careers, you will, if I had to bullet point it, one thing that you will for sure get is full knowledge of the field. So if
Mm,
you sign up for tech sales, you're going to know everything that you need to know about tech sales and nothing less. Like the same thing that people know that are working at these companies in these positions, being a sales development representative or business development representative. In short, it's BDR, SDR.
mm,
Um, you're going to learn everything that you need to know for the position. So the material, the information, all of the terms, like just all the material. You're also going to get help with your resume and your LinkedIn. Those two kind of go hand in hand because your LinkedIn is basically your online resume and
mm,
kind of social media resume, if that
mm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're going to help you on how to make both of these successful. So they offer you like a template, or they do what they need to do to make sure your resume is solid. They also, like I said, get your LinkedIn set up. They tell you what to put in your description, in your bio, like how to network on LinkedIn, like how to navigate LinkedIn, which, is for social media for business,
Yeah.
basically. And so they're going to tell you all like just the dropping all the gems
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
how to use LinkedIn and how to navigate LinkedIn in order to be successful. They're also going to help you, or they're also going to provide a community for you. So they have a community on the Discord. Are you familiar with
Yeah.
Discord?
Discord. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So they have a community on Discord where you can talk and mingle and network with everybody that is also doing course careers, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you
That's
can
crazy.
ask them questions, direct message them, hit somebody up and say, "Hey, I know you're from Georgia and I'm from Cali, but are you free? Like,
Yeah.
can we like do maybe like some practice interviews, some mock interviews, like
Mm,
because they're on the same path as well. They're like, yeah, I need help too."
yeah.
So they connect you with the community and give you like quick access already to a whole bunch of people that are already on the same path as you. And
Mm,
then also you have um what do you call it? The partner companies, the partner jobs. So the partner jobs are companies that Course Careers is partnered with that are looking to hire their students.
okay.
So they have, they're partnered together to where these tech companies that are looking for the exact position that you're working towards in the
Mm,
course, they're like, we trust Course Careers. The company trusts Course Careers because of their track record, their credibility of
mm.
really producing people who know what they're doing and
Yeah.
know what they're talking about, giving the certificate at the end to show that that's what qualifies you. You're certified because you actually went through the
Of
course,
course.
and so these companies are like, we trust Course Careers' credibility that when people finish this course, they're going to be ready for an entry level position. So they have already been convinced, these partner companies have already been convinced that Course Careers is producing qualified people
Yeah.
once they finish the course. In the same
Yeah.
way, when someone goes to college and they get a degree, it's if when you show that to a job that you're trying to apply for, they're just like, oh, you have a bachelor's? Oh, you have a
Yeah.
master's?
Yeah.
Got it. We know we were confident to hire you, knowing that you'll do well, type of thing. But I think that would be it. And also, there is an exam at the end of the course that you do have to take and pass, I believe, before receiving your certificate. And you get one practice exam, and then you get two chances to take the other exam for free.
Mm.
And then if you want to take it again, I think you have to pay. I forget what that cost is, but yeah. So
So tell me about your experience because your story was kind of interesting, and the bag that you got without having no experience in tech is crazy because people feel like you
very.
have to go through school or get a 4-year degree, and you kind of
Mhm.
finished it within a certain time frame. So just tell me about your experience with course careers.
Okay, so last year, so this is 2023 right now. Last year in 2022, on June 2nd is when I paid for the course and started Course Careers. I was in a minor shock because I was like, what the heck is all this? I
Yeah.
was just like, I've never heard of none of these terms. I
Yeah.
don't know industry, I don't know nothing. So if anything, I can speak to the person who's like, I'm a fill in the blank, whatever you're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
and you're trying to transfer over, if you're even thinking about doing tech, like I can attest that I didn't know nothing either. Not a
Mhm.
single thing. Like I felt really dumb. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like to be honest. But the material was so easy to understand. The way that they laid out the course in the modules and how every single module is a video and they're communicating and speaking in such simple terms, like it's just so easy to understand and they really make sure they educate you. And so yeah, I started on June 2nd, start going through the modules, and I'm from California, from Southern California.
Okay.
When I paid for the course on June 2nd, had a trip booked to go out to Texas with one of my friends to stay out there for like a few months.
Mhm.
So to kind of be on like a vacation. So I was going to be on vacation, and that was probably like around June 10th. So literally, I did course careers for 7 days while I was still in Southern California at home,
Mhm.
and then flew to Texas on vacation, was doing my thing, having fun on vacation while still, at night or whenever, just during the day, randomly, I would go through the modules, learning the
Yeah.
material. And I did that until July 6th. So June 2nd to July 6th July 6th is when I finished the course.
Okay.
So that's about a month, but
About a
that's
month.
also, remember, blended with me just not giving all my time to it. I was chilling in Texas on vacation,
Yeah.
you know? And so yeah, June 2nd to July 6th. And then once I finished the course July 6th, if I'm 100% honest, it's funny. I hopped on the phone because at the time, there was something in the course where you had to, once you got to a certain part, you had to hop on a phone call with one of the team members. And I have to hop on the phone with Troy
Mhm.
himself.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to basically ask you different questions to see if you're comprehending and if
Okay.
you're ready. I'm not gonna lie. He was asking me questions and I was sitting there. I could not answer his questions.
Yeah.
I sounded so I just was so discouraged. Like I just
Yeah.
sounded dumb. Like I'm not gonna lie. And it was weird because I was like, I understand the material.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to communicate it. You're not confident in something if you can't communicate it. You might kind of understand it, but if you can't talk and
Yeah.
communicate or explain it to somebody else, that's just, I think that's good because it just shows you, it reveals that you don't really fully understand because you
Yeah.
can't communicate it.
Mhm.
And so when I got off that phone with him, I was like, okay, there's no way I'm about to do this in an interview.
Yeah.
I'm not about to make a fool of myself, or I was like, I'm not ready,
Mhm.
you know? And so what I chose to do was, especially since I was still on vacation anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my time. I'm on vacation anyway, but I know I'm not fully confident, and I want to be confident when I'm talking in an interview. Like I want to really know what I'm doing when I actually land the job. Like I just wanted to be confident. So I was like, I'm going to still be on vacation and chill, but at the same time, in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the course
Mhm.
and go through the material again when I'm laying in bed at night, when I'm brushing my teeth in the bathroom, when I'm taking a shower. Like I just would have the volume all the way up and I would just let the course run.
Mhm.
Every day I was just letting the course run. And so I was learning the material even more. And then I was recording myself on my phone, like saying one of the, terms. And
Mhm.
then I would be like, can I answer that?
Yeah.
Talking into the mirror, like, okay, so this is what this is. Tech sales is this. This is
Yeah.
what, and I'm like, and I would get stuck up and be like, dang, nah, I couldn't say it right. So, anyways, all that to say, I was practicing and I was practicing and making sure I really understood. I did that all the way up until October. Yeah, October.
Okay.
So finished the course July 6th. And I say October because that was when I flew back home to California.
Okay.
I was done with my Texas
Vacation.
vacation.
Yeah.
So um and so yeah, like, and I wasn't in a rush to get a job either because I knew if I got a job, I would have to start working and I
Yeah.
was on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm like, trying to even do that anyway. So I
Mhm.
decided I'm chilling, I'm taking my time. So when October comes, I come back home to California and I was like, all right, I'm back home. I'm off vacation. I've been slowly going through the material. I'm confident now. I was like, I'm going to start applying to jobs now. So I didn't even start applying to jobs until October, early October, probably like, I don't know, like the 6th ish.
Mm-hmm.
And so around that time, I started applying to companies on LinkedIn. And I chose not to go with the partner jobs through Course Careers because when I looked at like, the products that they sold, I just wasn't, I wasn't a fan.
Interesting. Yeah.
I didn't want to. So I was, applying to jobs on LinkedIn and I landed at least like 2 different interviews and did those. And yeah, one just completely backed out. The other one, I didn't make it past the first round. And then a third company, which is the company that I actually worked for and
Mm-hmm.
got the job. The third company is where I started. I still applied in October and got the interview, and they weren't playing. They wanted to hire me so bad. They were like, we can do the interview this week. And then they were like, the next interview for the second round, are you free next week on
Mm-hmm.
Monday? Literally like Friday. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, yeah. And then we did the second interview Monday. And then they were like, look, we can schedule the third interview, the third round on Thursday, with all within the same week. It was just boom, 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 like quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, yeah. And by the time I got past the third round of interviews, yeah, they said, okay, we'll get back to you. They randomly called me one day, like maybe in a week, and they gave me my offer letter to
Mm-hmm.
make 75K a year.
So wait. So in 5 months, basically, something that because typically with a lot of jobs on LinkedIn, they want you to have a bachelor. So you telling me within 5 months, you learned something that a person went to maybe 4 or 5 years to school and landed a job with no experience, probably making more than the average person that has went to school.
Yeah, no, yes, that's what's mind blowing about it. But honestly, all of that, I have to give credit where it's due, and that's Course Careers,
Yeah.
because I'm like, there's no way. Like, yes, okay, I'm not a dummy. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta still be able to interpret the material,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm like, nah, Course Careers just really prepares you though.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so, and like I said, from June 2nd to July 6th, I finished the course in a month.
Hmm.
I was just the type of person that's like a perfectionist that's like, I want to make sure I'm confident and understand. And again, like I said, I was on vacation. So I would have landed a position. Because if you think about it, I started applying to jobs in October, early
Hmm.
October. When they gave me the offer letter, they asked me, do I want to start November 1st?
Hmm.
So I started applying in October. My first day at on the job was November 1st.
Hmm.
So that's within the same month.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So when I finished the course, so to back up, started the course June 2nd, finished July 6th. Had I have felt confident right there, because a
Hmm.
lot of people they go through the course and they're like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
So had that have been, I would have started applying to companies around July 6th, and
Hmm.
I probably would have landed a position within like a month's time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would have only been like June, July, August. I would be able to say that right now. Like it only took me 2 months,
Hmm.
but that's not my story. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, yes, it in a short amount of time, I was I literally went from knowing nothing to landing a job making 75K. Like that still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like
And when you
it
say 75K, like is that base, is that salary or is it kind of like you're just on regular pay, hourly or whatever they call it?
Yeah, so the way that it works is you have salary, you're on salary for sure. Like
Hmm.
these jobs, and that's something to really make clear too, because I know a lot of people are, when they hear sales, they think commission only.
Hmm.
It's like, I'm not getting paid unless I make a sale. And that's not the case with tech sales.
Hmm.
So you are doing, like I said before, business to business sales where you're selling your technology to other businesses, but you are on salary. So it's not that you get paid when you make a sale, because that's not your job. BDRs, SDRs, which is what the job title is,
Hmm.
you don't close deals. You know what
Okay.
I mean? Like that's what the account executive does. Our only job is to research for, remember I said our target market.
Hmm.
And then when we find people, then we will, or let me not say that, research people, research companies that we want to reach out to them, and then have a conversation with them to see, are they a good fit to even give them to our account executive so that they can take over from there. My only job is to book meetings for my coworker,
Hmm.
the account executive. Then they take it over. I don't know what, well, I can't say I don't know what happens after that, but my hands aren't on what happens
Hmm.
after that.
Yeah.
I just got to book meetings with the account executive. And
Hmm.
so I'm getting paid salary, but also the number of meetings that I book with the account executive, every company will have a quota that you have to hit. So let's say one company is like, oh, well, here at this company, you have to get 10 bookings with the account executive. That's your quota, is 10 bookings.
Hmm.
Depending on how many you get, that's the percentage of your quota that you'll get. So you're on salary getting paid your 2 checks a month every single month, no matter what. You're getting money coming in consistently. But depending on how much you reach your quota and what percentage of you hitting your quota, whatever that is what you'll get for your quota check, which is
Hmm.
your on target earnings, your OTE. And then if you exceed your quota, that's where commission comes in. So it's uncapped.
Hmm.
Like you can literally make as much as you want depending on your effort. You know what I mean?
And I know what are some of the benefits that comes with, working in the tech field. I know some people have like unlimited vacation or
Mhm.
unlimited PTO is what they call it.
Yeah.
Um, I even seen some people say that they bring people like to the office that get a, well, you never, is it remote? It's remote, right?
Yes, fully remote. So I work every day, my whole shift every day from my computer at home.
Okay. So yeah, I see some people that actually has a hybrid position that say they bring people to like give them massages like 2 times a week. Like, what are some of the perks that come with that?
I have heard of stuff like that. I haven't experienced it, and I'm like, dang, where is that
Yeah.
at? But that would be amazing. Um, but yes, I have heard of that. But yes, like you mentioned already, unlimited PTO. So that's not just personal time off. That's paid time off.
So
Because
they
some people,
separate it. So is it like
no,
separate?
it's that I'm just trying to, like, I guess, make that clear just because I know a lot of jobs, not in tech, but just, jobs I've worked before where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you got paid time off, or not paid time off, personal time off.
Mhm.
But you can take personal time off all you want. You're just not getting paid,
Oh yeah.
while
Okay.
you're off, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like you could take off whenever you want. They're like, go ahead. Yeah, you could be off.
Okay.
We're flexible, but you ain't paying me though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like, dang, do I want to call off? Because I need that money.
Money.
So in tech, that's a huge perk, is pay unlimited paid time off. So if I decide to take off for a day, 3 days, a week, I'm getting paid while I'm off.
Mhm.
And that's unlimited. But the thing is it's funny because the fact of how I kind of walked through it before, where it's like, yeah, you're on salary, but also depending on the amount of bookings that you get is making you money because you're hitting your quota. So you're making more money off of that. And if you exceed that, that's commission. So it's like you being off is only keeping you on your basic little check.
Mhm.
But if you're actually working, it's uncapped because
Yeah.
you're like working, you can keep on adding and making more money. So it's just funny because you could be like, yeah, because you would think somebody might be like, well, if I got unlimited paid time off, then I'm about to take like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
it's like, but you know how much money you just missed out on though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could have made more money being at work.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just the point that you can do that. And so another perk is office reimbursement.
Mhm.
Um, so for example, um, anything that you buy, like your tech company will give you, and every company is different, but they'll give you some budget in a sense of office reimbursement. So let's say a company is like, yeah, you got $1,000 worth of any office equipment that you need for your home for doing your job, anything related to that. So an example of that would be the company that I was working for, like they will offer you or I needed AirPods because we have to make cold calls.
Mhm.
So some people buy like the little headset that come around the mouth. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was like, it's 2023. I ain't using
Yeah.
no I'm not using no headset.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to use. I'll never use one of those in my life. So I was just like, I know what AirPods are, and I'm gonna be making cold calls a lot. So
Mhm.
it makes sense to buy AirPods. So I went and got the newest ones, and I think they cost me like $275. Took a picture of my receipt, sent it to my manager, got reimbursed for that almost immediately.
Dang.
Yeah,
Can't be.
because it made sense for the
Yeah.
job. So if you need monitors, a computer, anything you could think of that would help you with the job, if you want more training and you're like, I want to actually take a course that's like it's like $300, you can go do it to learn some skill or maybe to travel to even another state because maybe you need to I don't know, whatever it is, they will
Yeah.
be for that if it makes sense. So um what else is there? I think that's all I can think of for right now. If something else pops up, then yeah,
Now,
I'll mention it.
with you being, how does it feel? That's another perk about, tech sales is that you're able to have a job to where you fully remote. Did you not want to go hybrid into the office, or it just wasn't like where you live at or whatever?
Mm-mm. Going into the office makes me depressed.
Yeah.
I do not like some people. It's funny because a friend of mine, um, he's not in tech yet, but he is on in the process, and he was just saying like, yeah, like I would want to do hybrid because he's like the kind of person that likes to be outside,
Mhm.
like wants to socialize with people and like, just be able to. And it's like, it's not that I'm not social.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to have to do that every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I want the choice to be like, oh, I can go to one of those office spaces if I feel like it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I can go outside if I feel like it. Like, and meet up with a coworker if they like, I had a coworker that we both were from LA, even though the company was based in Washington, DC.
Mhm.
And a lot of people lived out there, but we had people in like Ireland, Hawaii, like people all over the place. And it's
Mhm.
like, but I had a coworker in Louisiana. I mean, Louisiana. Why did I say Louisiana? I'm Creole. My
Yeah.
bad.
No, it's okay.
In LA. And so, it's like I could make the decision to be like, hey, let's meet up and like meet at the office in person. But I'm like, every day though, nah, I'd rather
Yeah.
work from home. Like, I don't want to get dressed every day. Like, there's so many times I'd be fake. I'd
Yeah.
have on a nice little shirt with some pajamas bottoms on,
Yeah.
like, or it's like my shift starts and it's like, all right, it's 8 o'clock. I'm just rolling out of bed and I'm just working from my computer, like from my bed,
Yeah.
like chilling on my bed.
Mhm.
So like that it's just too valuable. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that way too much to try to do hybrid. So
So to kind of like sum everything up, you started the course in June. You
yeah.
finished it in July 6th, if I'm correct. And then from July to October, you was on vacation. In October, that's when you kind of like started applying and stuff. Ended up landing a job, making 75K or whatever. Can you walk us like through a day in a life of what exactly do you do?
Yeah. So you wake up in the morning, let's say, and okay, let me start with this. Your shift will be depending on if you're part-time or full-time, because you can choose to work part-time. I wanted a full-time job, so I was working 8 a.m., working 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock, 4:30 sometimes, but mainly 4 o'clock. So 8 to 4. Wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, whether it's 8 o'clock on the dot or if it's a little before that, I'm making my coffee. I'm sitting at whether I'm in my bed or at the kitchen table. That's just kind of like my setup. Like I make sure I got my coffee ready to go. Like I'm just creating the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I do first is if I don't have a meeting or something like right away, then I am just looking through emails.
Mm-hmm.
So how you do it is you set up your calendar in time blocks. and you get to make that call, like
Mm-hmm.
on how you organize your day. So I think that's worth saying first as well too, is that you organize your own day
Mm-hmm.
unless you have some kind of team meeting that's, just in your schedule,
Yeah.
which your manager or whoever will put that on your calendar. So you'll just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, we got a meeting today at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But everything around that, you choose for yourself. And that's just you being disciplined, especially working remote. You got to really be disciplined with how you schedule and organize yourself. And so I'll literally put like, or have it set already, because you can repeat it like
Mm-hmm.
from week to week. But it'll be like from 8 to 9 o'clock, I'm just looking at emails, seeing did I get any responses from prospects that I had previously reached out to from the day before or whatever. So checking my emails first thing. Then let's say I have a team meeting, that was like 8 to 9. Let's say I have a team meeting at like 9 to 10 o'clock or 9 to 9:30 or something like that. So you hop on Zoom, with your team, and you talk about whatever you talk about. Then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, all right, guys, bye. You get
Yeah.
off of Zoom. You get off Zoom, and then you might have another block where it's like, okay, now I'm going to maybe organize what we talked about earlier, like the strategy
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to reaching out to people, because you're reaching out to people every day, but there's people that you reached out to before where they can respond. So that's where you're checking your emails,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also reaching out to new people, and it's called like sequences. You're creating sequences on how you reach out to people. Is it on Instagram? Is it a phone call? Like, is it a email? Like, and so you're creating your strategy. So I'll be sitting here on my computer and I'm just like, all right, I know I'm going to be reaching out to these kind of people I did research on yesterday. So, all right, I'm going to do first step, I'm going to do an email.
Mm-hmm.
And you type up that email, and then you're trying to figure out how to word that email. Like, that's what your day looks like.
Yeah.
You're just out on the computer like, how am I going to word this email? Personalize it a little bit, customize it a little bit. I might click on their website and be like, oh, they got this going on, or oh, I found so and so, another person to reach out to at the company. Let me add their contact and let me reach
Yeah.
out to them as well. So that's kind of like what that looks like. So summing all that up, that's just organizing and strategizing for outreach,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there's, times where you're actually doing those things, or you're actually writing up the email or making the phone call. So I might set a time block on my calendar where it's like from 9, or not 9, but let's say like 11 to 1, I'm only making phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna get all my calls out the way. So I got the AirPod in, sitting here. There's a dialer on your little software that you use with your company.
Mm-hmm.
Just click, phone calls ringing, just like, hey, this is Juuna'e with so and so, like da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then how the conversation goes, and it's like, you end up hanging
Yeah.
up. And then next person, call, you're on the phone. Hang up, call, you're on the
Yeah.
phone. Hang up, call. You do that. Let's say however long you decide to do that for. You could be like, oh, I want to do this for only 30 minutes, or you can just choose to do that for 2 hours, depending on how many people you choose to reach out to in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you can also be doing, what else can you do? Oh, and also, like I said, you organize your own day and create your own schedule. So I could also decide after those phone calls, all right, I'm about to go get a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like, or I'm about to go to the gym and go work out for like an hour because I'm getting sleepy,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I'm tired of looking at this computer screen. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
started at 8, it's already 1 o'clock. Like, I'm about to leave for an hour and like go do me, go
Mm-hmm.
get some food, go work out, or just go take a walk. So for me, it was Starbucks.
Yeah.
I'm making a Starbucks run because it got me away from the computer, and I
Yeah.
was able to get me a drink and come back a little more refreshed to, finish my day. Um, so yeah, and then you might do that, and then you might have like a discovery call with a prospect that you talked to maybe yesterday or the day before that was interested in your technology,
Yeah.
and you set up a meeting for, let's say, that day, and you schedule that meeting at like 3 o'clock, and it's like a 15-minute meeting or a 30-minute meeting. You might have something like that on your schedule.
Yeah.
So I make my Starbucks run, I come back and I'm like, all right, getting prepared. I already got the Zoom link already sent to the prospect. Our meeting is booked for 3 o'clock. And then, we hop on Zoom and I'm talking to the prospect. So that's something that you could be doing as well.
Yeah.
That would be called a discovery call. Um, I think, yeah, that's basically it. And then by the time you look up, it's like, well, it's 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, all right, so yeah, and your manager or maybe some team members might be checking in with you like here and there, maybe asking a question here and there, or saying like, "Oh, how's it going?" And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's just doing this." They're just like, "All right, well, it's
Yeah.
just keeping in touch through maybe Slack or Discord or whatever the company uses."
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what I would say a typical day looks like.
And it seems like a lot of freedom because working at jobs or other jobs, you kind of have the manager breathing down your back. You got
Hmm.
people watching your break and coming in looking at the clock like, okay, you've been sitting here for a long time. So I think that's dope. And I see that you have your own company called TekkenC. Could you kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so being a Christian, I know a lot of like just, them little cliche, corny little phrases,
Hmm.
I shouldn't even say that because that's actually like an actual scripture, a direct pull. But
Yeah.
it's just, I know all the little cliches and just being familiar with scripture. And so, um, and I think everybody's probably familiar with the whole like taste and see that the Lord is good,
Hmm.
you know. And so, anyways, I don't know where it came from. I think me being a spoken word artist and a poet, a writer,
Hmm.
like I love metaphors and just using different literary devices. And so, um, yeah, like it just came to my mind, like just tech and see
Hmm.
that this industry is good. So it was kind of like a play on words with taste and see that the Lord is good. So tech
Okay.
and see that this industry is good.
Okay.
And I thought that that would be like just a cool little, just showing my personality a little bit
Yeah.
and my story blended with tech,
Hmm.
and like my Christian background. And so, and with what my channel and what I'm doing is also about and actually
Hmm.
about, because I'm actually trying to tell people to check this out, like tech and see, like break into tech and see that this industry is for real
Yeah.
good. Like I'm
Really. Yeah.
helping people to break into tech, and so it just worked.
Yeah.
Like, and so yeah, what I do is exactly that. I'm helping people break into the tech industry, whether I'm sharing my day in the lives, on my YouTube channel, or if I'm answering different questions, like I offer consultations where people can book a consultation with me for whatever reason, whether they haven't started nothing yet and they just want
Mm.
information, or I also do coaching in my consultations where people are like, I'm going through the course with Course Careers and I get it, but I'm trying to piece it together and I feel like I just need like some coaching and some help to really
Mm.
someone break it down for me. And I'm like, I got you. Or if they need exam prep help, resume help. Like I've helped people with their resumes, like getting it together. LinkedIn help. So basically everything that Course Careers does,
Yeah.
but it's almost like I'm just offering that direct help with you, like on Zoom, one
Yeah.
on one,
One
no
on one.
distraction.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm just a content creator. I just create content that sometimes it could be just like nice to watch or it's just educational. It could be entertaining a little bit. But yeah, I'm on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. That's mainly the platforms that I use to create content to help people break into the tech industry. And so that's what TekkenC is.
Okay. Is there anything else that you kind of got in the works that people can look forward to?
Yes, a lot of stuff outside of tech. But
Okay.
um as far as in tech, yeah, I am trying to create right. I'm in the midst of creating like a kind of like a course, like a course that will help people. It's basically like Course Careers, but it's
Hmm.
almost like an extension of Course Careers. In no way do I want to replace Course Careers. I'm an affiliate with them.
Yeah.
But I did notice though that in Course Careers, like Troy, the team, they know, like they asked us to be their coaches.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like they want us to help because if we help them, that helps their business with Course
Yeah.
Careers, and it helps people to be successful. Like Troy, I think has an amazing heart in
Mhm.
wanting people to be successful. He's not in this like I want people off for myself. Like he's providing so many opportunities for so many people, and so um what I noticed that I think will be helpful for people while in Course Careers or even outside of Course Careers I saw a need where people, like, I know my gift is to make things very simple
Hmm.
when I'm explaining something complex, like something that is don't make sense, to break it down and make it simple. And so I'm basically doing like recording like a kind of like a master class where people will be able to purchase it, and it'll be like me talking to them on some 2+2 stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Hmm.
Breaking the material down to where they will walk away from the master class, and I'm gonna have it like in modules,
Hmm.
but they'll walk away from that like, I am ready.
Hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like they got the depth of course, because CourseCareers is providing such in-depth information
Yeah.
because they're a real course. They got so much material in there that I'm not even thinking to try to cover, if
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just the basics and the trajectory of just what a person just really can hone in on and know and feel confident, that's what I'm creating.
Hmm.
So it'll be a perfect, like, it'll just be
Yeah.
perfect. It'll just be perfect. So I'm excited for that. So that's in the works. So
When
yeah.
could we be looking for that? Like, is it going to be dropping soon, or are you kind of still doing a lot of admin work on it?
Yeah, it's if I had to give a guesstimate, what is this? June, July, August. I'll probably say by the fall.
By the fall. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like September, probably September.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone that's kind of trying to break into tech? Um, they actually took course careers or just anything, because I know you also have careers that actually gets on the technical side
Mhm.
of tech. On I'm guessing you coding and QA automation and stuff like that. What advice would you give to someone that's trying to break into tech?
I can't really speak for careerists because I'm not. That's something that I would, if anything, direct people to Cyrus. Like
Hmm.
he did careers to be a sales engineer, and then he just kept climbing from that. But so yeah, as far as that tech boot camp, can't really speak much to. But if you're trying to break into tech sales, and even what Course Careers offers, like tech sales, IT, digital marketing,
Hmm.
I only did tech sales, so I don't
Hmm.
even want to speak on
Speak on the other
IT
two.
or
Yeah.
digital marketing either, because that's not my experience. I would say go talk to people who can genuinely lead you in that.
Okay.
But as far as tech sales, I did tech sales through Course Careers. And if you're trying to break into tech, I would say to identify what it is, like basically identify where you are when it
Hmm.
comes to your approach to making this decision, like, and what, like, identify like what are you skeptical about.
Hmm.
You know, like, what is your hesitation? Is it finances? Is it not trusting that this is like a real thing? Like, do you think this is a scam? It's like, do you think, because I've heard it all, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, let's have that conversation because
Hmm.
I want people to have peace about making a decision like this. You know, there's too many people that are like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Look, do this, do that, like sign up today. Like, and
Kind
it's
of like
like,
peer pressuring them.
exactly. I'm just like, no, like,
Hmm.
you need to know why you want to make this decision, and you need to be confident. Think for yourself,
Yeah.
do your research, talk to who you need to talk to, whether it's me, your own mentors or support system in your life. Like, do your research on the internet, like, identify what it is um, that's going on inside of your mind when making a decision to break into tech. For some people, what was I gonna say? They might think it's or they might be thinking like, oh, am I gonna, what is the pay like, or whatever questions that they might have. Like, is this gonna make me enough money, or am I capable of doing it? Find out what the job description is. We
Hmm.
can talk about that. And I will be honest, I will let you know. It's not just, yeah, I talk about it being remote and you can make a Starbucks run and you're chilling, but you still gotta grind. Like, you
Yes.
still gotta work. Like,
Hmm.
this people walk in the park, they're not paying you 75K or 80K or 60K for you to be chilling. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, but if you had to pick that or something different, like to go work down the street making only 30K,
Yeah.
I'd rather bust my
Get
butt
educated. Yeah.
while I'm at home working with a Starbucks in my bed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I'd rather do that. Um, and then there was something else I was going to bring up when considering getting into tech. Oh, knowing your why. Like, for sure, know your why. Like, why do you want to work in tech sales?
Mhm.
Or if you choose something different, just figure out your why, because if you only do it for the money, and honestly, I'm not even gonna say that. Some people, money is enough to drive them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are like, nah, like my mom is working two jobs, or I feel like I can't pay my own rent. I'm tired of struggling. Like I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make the money I need
Mhm.
to help myself and the people I love that I see struggling. That's a big why. Money being the motivator is okay. You know what I mean? Because they pay you well and you can make this happen in just like a few weeks to a few months. That is fine. But also for people where that's not their number one motivator, it's like, you know, don't make the mistake of only thinking about the money when you know you're a person who actually gets either depressed easy or you
Mhm.
quit a job easy because you get bored or
Yeah.
maybe you're passionate about something. That's why I was like, I have to work for a company that I'm actually passionate about because I will quit.
Mhm.
Like if I'm working for a company where I don't believe in the product, the technology that I'm selling, and I have to deal and talk about this product all day, every day, like I'm gonna get bored. Like, so it's like knowing what is your why, like why do you want to get into this industry, and always hold to that every single day. And so that's basically what I would say. Um, and I already said this, but reach out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, don't sit here and try to think about this on your own. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that are in this industry, including myself, like reach out, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, like email me if you have a question, book a consultation with me, like, or somebody else, whoever, but
Mhm.
get your questions answered so that you have peace about your decision when trying to break into tech. That's what I would say.
And that's some good advice. I actually jumped into tech sales. Like I said, I seen you. I managed to finish the course. Like I literally burnt all my vacation in 2 weeks and finished it in 2 weeks because
Dang,
it was
congratulations.
just thank you. It was just like, I work at a warehouse and I work in the cooler. So I'm in the cold every
Ooh,
day. So it's just like kind of like hectic. And when I seen your interview with Cyrus, I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is something that I can do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a career path. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do as a stepping stone to pay for your
exactly.
passion and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is something that I can utilize for the time being, because I see some people say that they don't even like tech, but the fact that
Yep.
it pays the bills, it allows time for their
Mhm.
kids or just anything that that they enjoy doing, it just allows time for that. So
Exactly.
that's dope. And just a question that I like to ask all my guests: where do you see yourself at in the next 5 years, or maybe 10, if you're thinking that far ahead?
Yeah, so um I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to kind of, work towards being an account executive
Hmm.
because I am a teacher at heart. I
Yeah.
love to break things down, like I said earlier. And so the fact that account executives are the ones who do the demos,
Hmm.
like, and they break down and explain the product like on Zoom with the prospects, I'm like, yeah, like when it comes to the roadmap of
Hmm.
tech sales, being an SDR, BDR, the next step would be being an account executive. I'm like, hmm, I could possibly see that in the next, year or
Yeah.
two, or if I decide to do that. I haven't made up my mind. But also outside of that, because of what I'm doing with TekkenC, and it's like I plan to continue to, grow that as well, and
Hmm.
to think of different, like I said, I know I said about the whole like masterclass, but I also have a lot of other things that are just in the brainstorming
Yeah.
stage of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
to, grow what it is that I'm doing and like utilize it to its maximum. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Um, so yeah, I could see myself in the next 5 years also just I could be not even working in tech. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I could just be helping people break into tech and making
Mhm.
that like a full-time job, So and being a full-time content creator because I love creating content,
Yeah.
like love editing videos, creating videos, editing videos. Like it's just all of it is just fun for me. Like
Mhm.
so yeah, that's all I see so far. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, That's the plan. Like that's a soft plan, I'll say.
But
Yeah.
guys, you heard it here. You don't need to go to school to do a lot of stuff. And I'm not knocking school, but as you can see, she within 4 to 5 months, she broke into tech and got a 70K, 75K plus job with no experience. It came with perks, unlimited PTO. She's working remote. Do have the option to go in hybrid with some of the positions, but she chose the remote. I mean, work remote, and you see that it's freedom. The fact that she could just get up and go get a Starbucks coffee. She's stressed out. Like, I mean, you can't beat that. So, where can they find you at on social media? Far as your Instagram or Snapchat? And I know you say you have TekkenC. Is there some type of way they can book a call with you? Like where exactly can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on, I guess 4 platforms. I keep saying 3, but I'm on 4. So I am on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I am on TikTok, and I am on YouTube. So if you type, my name is really unique. So if you type it in, I'm probably the only person in the
Yeah.
world that will pop up.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you type in my name on any of those platforms, you just type in Juuna'e. So JUUNA'.
Hmm.
Type that in, I will pop up for sure. But my stage name as a spoken word artist and what I've been going by just for over the years is Creole Lovin'.
Hmm.
So you type that anywhere, I'm gonna pop up as well. So it's CreoLeLuhVN.
Okay.
So type that in, I'll pop up. And then if you're trying to look for TekkenC specifically, um, I only have something specific for TekkenC for YouTube and TikTok, even
Hmm.
though I post tech content on Instagram and Facebook, but you won't, if you type in TekkenC on those platforms, you won't find me. So
Hmm.
YouTube, type in tech and C, but don't put the and sign. Actually type out the word and then, you could throw my name in there, Juuna'e,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, you'll find it. Yeah.
it'll pop up. And then on TikTok, it is just TekkenC.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. You'll find me.
Well, I thank you for taking the time out your day to kind of explain just everything that you've been doing. I will actually leave all her information down below, her Instagram, and they can book you on, is it Calendly? They can book you on Calendly, right?
Yeah, so you'll find that information either in my YouTube descriptions. Every video will have that information in there, a link you can click on Calendly, or
Mhm.
on Instagram in my bio. It's my link tree. You'll see all the different things you can click on, and you'll see my book a consultation with me right there for
Okay,
Calendly.
so I'll just put all her information down below in the description, and I'll also put the link down to Course Careers in the description as well, and a $50 code that you can use off the course. But like I said again, I thank you for hopping on the podcast. It was interesting talking to you, and I hope you guys actually paid attention to see that it's other ways to make money. You don't necessarily have to go to school. You don't necessarily have to stay at your job for a long time, or for the people that wants to work a 9 to 5, you don't have to spend so much money to do it. The course was only 400 or $500 plus the $50 code. I think it was 450. So thanks, man. I really appreciate it. This was a good episode, and I was interested. I was like, I gotta get her on here so I can see for myself. Like, okay, she's a dope individual. So, all right, guys. Don't
Thanks for having
forget.
me.
Oh, I'm sorry. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also like the video. Like I said, it helps out with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.